Hercules step drill bits. Are they worth the money? And will they drill stainless steel? Let's find out. These are the new Hercules step drill bits, not just step drill bits, they're the Cobalt steel step drill bits. Yes, usually Cobalt drill bits are part of the more expensive drill bits that you'll find. Very hard, and they drill into hard metals very well. So things like drilling out screws and bolts, typically where you grab a Cobalt bit. Now this is a Cobalt step drill bit, and it's from Harbor Freight in the Hercules line, something you would think would be kind of value priced, and it is. Now, before we talk about the pricing, let's take it over and actually use it, and we'll use it on some stainless steel as well as other things, and see what we think about these things. You can get it in a 2-pack or a 3-pack of these smaller ones, and we'll talk about all the sizes and everything else, and then we'll come back and talk about pricing. So here we have the Cobalt steel step drill bits from Hercules. As I mentioned, you can get them in a 2-piece kit or in the 3-piece. Of course, the 3-piece is the smaller or the more narrow bits. 2 of them are 1/2 inch and 1 of them is 3/4 of an inch. And then the 2-pack is the larger of the set. These have the 1/4 inch hex shanks on them. These have a 3/8, basically a tri-lobe design shank on them for use in drills. These are for use in drills or impact drivers. So again, the 6-point hex design. Now, one thing I will notice right off the bat, a very good looking set of bits, and it has a dual flute design, at least on the biggest one here. So that's a dual flute, that's a dual flute. Let's see if these are, yes, all of these are dual flute designs here. So you have 2 spiral flutes that go up the sides. It's going to relieve any of your residual or any of the shrapnel that's coming off the base metal, can be escorted out through the flute and fall out or work its way out. And you have the sizing, at least from this largest one, only on 1 of the flutes, and it looks like a laser etching. Now the good thing is it is inside the flute, which shouldn't get a lot of scraping, so it should last. At the same time, laser etching does not like to last a long time. Especially when you're using it on grinding or drilling metal and steel and anything else, and you don't really see a great contrast. Now that's kind of small pickings when it comes to a Cobalt step drill bit. The really biggest part is the functionality of it, and is it going to work well. And let's take a look at these others as well. Yeah, pretty much the same design on these others. Is you can see the sizes on here, but just kind of tough to see. Have to look up close and pretty hard to actually see the sizes. But a lot of times I'll probably be taking my my calipers to actually check the size on these. So it's not a huge deal, but did want to point that out. Now let's get to using these and see what we think. A little close-up of the tri-lobe shank on the larger 2. So again, you get 3 flats on there that's going to match up with the jaws of your drill, but will not be able to use these in an impact driver, where these you can use them in a drill or impact driver. Good old piece of automotive sheet metal from I think the early mid-70s on a Firebird. So anyway, classic place to use a step drill bit. I'll tell you why in just one moment. Okay, so I'm not going to use a step drill bit first. I'm going to use just a 3/8 brand new drill bit. In fact, I think this is a Hercules bit. So listen, that drilled very well. However, one thing I noticed right off the bat is that we've got a really sharp edge there. And a lot of times you'll actually get kind of jagged edges on sheet metal. Kind of the thinner it is, the worse off it gets, and you can have some distortion as well as very sharp edges. I don't really like that. So one thing I like about a step drill bit, and I'm going to grab the bigger one of the smaller ones. All right, here we go. Start slow. Okay, so we've gone in. So one thing I like about a step bit is, number one, that cuts very fast, by the way. That Cobalt cut a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. But it leaves a really smooth edge, and that's because each step here has a step up to that step. In other words, it kind of chamfers, or doesn't kind of, it chamfers the edge of that metal, making it nice and smooth with no jagged edges on it. Now, if I wanted to go all the way through, I could do that too. We'll do that one more time. Start slow. So I'm not even having to, make a pilot hole. It's doing that on its own. So again, you can see the chamfer that it's making on the edge of that hole, keeping it nice and clean. So that's one thing I really like about a step drill bit. Now, the reason is I have a grommet right here. And let's measure the inside of that grommet. Looks like a 1-inch grommet. So let's say we're running wiring through a firewall, something like that. And then let me give you a little tip here. I'm going to go to my biggest one. So here on this biggest drill bit, our 1-inch is right here, this step right here. So I want to go in, and I'm not going to be able to read that as I'm drilling, right? So I need to make a 1-inch hole, and I need to be able to easily see that. Well, here's how we can do that. And this is not rocket science. This is not the first time it's been thought of, but just take you a Sharpie marker and mark the flute to where you're drilling. Now, some will say, well, you can either do the one that you're going to drill on or the one that goes beyond it, so that you can actually see it. And I will tell you, find the one that you actually have to drill to. So the 1-inch, which is right here. And I say you should actually color the actual last step you're going to drill. Why do I say that? Good question. Got to do it over here too. I say that because the next time I need to use this drill bit, if that one's colored, then I have to take some acetone or something to take that off. However, what's going to help me is if I've got a drill to that, then it's going to be drilling through that metal, and that metal will help kind of scrape that off, so I know that's not the next one I have to use on the next time. Does that make sense? So that's why I say color the one you're actually drilling to, the last step you're actually going to drill. So even on this biggest step drill, I'm still not needing a pilot hole, and it's starting very easily. And now I've got one more step. I'm to my color. I'm going to try that one more time. I think this curvature or this brand new bit, it is really eating through there really quick. So with sheet metal, you need to be careful, but you can see it's already helping to wear off that mark that I put on there. So let's do one more. And there we have it. So just a small tip. Again, you can still kind of see the marking there, but you can tell it's not fresh. So the next time, if you got to mark that somewhere else, you're not having to worry about cleaning that with acetone. As if I would have left it up here, it would have been nice and brand new and still look like that's the mark I need to go to. Now let's do something a little tougher. This is 1/8" steel. I'm going to go to my smallest step drill bit. I'm going to use a little cutting paste. Always recommend using cutting paste when you're drilling into steel. Sheet metal is not a big deal, aluminum is not a big deal, but definitely it's going to protect your equipment, to protect your tools, help your accessories last a lot longer. Okay, so again, no pilot hole needed. Again, you see the nice chamfer that's putting on that hole, so no jagged edges there to hang on. So there was going in high and just going at it hard, and you see how quick that I was able to drill that hole. We'll do one more, again on speed 2 on this drill. I'm just going to go at it full bore. There you have it. Get a nice clean hole. Love that on a step drill bit. Now let's try our smaller of the larger sizes. Which, by the way, this seam right here is usually pretty hard. You can see how much heat was put into there. It's usually pretty hard right there in the center. So stay away from drilling that when you can, only if you have to. By the way, I'm being a little apprehensive because I have no auxiliary handle on this, so let's change that. Again, love the fact you get a nice chamfered hole. It's not sharp. Now obviously aluminum should not be an issue at all. And in this case, where you can see the step because it's thick enough to be thicker than the step, turn it around, hit it from the other side, clean that up, and there you go. And finally, the killer to mini drill bits is stainless steel. We'll slow it down a little bit. So no pilot hole needed. Did take a little bit to get through there. And again, giving us that nice clean edge, even in stainless steel. Now let's do something else here that we forgot to do on the sheet metal. I'm going to go to another hole. Change out our bit. Go to this larger bit. And we'll go to our 1-inch mark again. definitely warm. That really beat up that hole pretty good. Let's try that one more time. That step's not heavy. There we go, got through that one. Let's see if it'll keep going. Okay, that took a little bit of time to do that. That is a cleaner hole, but I really had to take my time to get that to, on those bigger steps, it's really wanting to grab. And then, of course, on one of those steps is pretty much already shot. We'll take our grommet. And there you have it. The perfect way to make a grommet to run wiring, or to make a hole to put a grommet to run wiring. Okay, let's talk about pricing first. For the smaller 3 sizes, or the 3 sizes that are smaller in the package, that's going to run you $35, $34.99. And the 2 larger sizes, that kit is going to run you $39.99 or $40. So you're talking $35 and $40 for a Cobalt step drill bit. That's very cheap. For any step drill bits that last of any time, that's still very cheap. If you go to Swiss made stuff, you're going to pay an arm and a leg in the hundreds of dollars for the equal size bits. Now, I will say, if you're drilling into stainless steel a lot, I don't think these are the bits for you. It did struggle. I all but probably burn up several steps of this. Some of you may say I was doing it wrong, whatever, that's fine. You're welcome to do that. But my point is, it's very aggressive, especially this largest one. It's a very aggressive bit. It really wanted to drill in and bite in and keep going like all the way through the whole thing. So you have to be careful with this one. And I tried it slow, I tried it fast, I tried to, maybe speed it up a lot so it wasn't trying to grab so hard and just but it was still a tough bit, especially going through the stainless steel, to not only get through, but once it got through, it wanted to pull into the next one as well, really hard and really bite and get those jagged edges. So again, if you're doing stainless steel a lot, I don't think this is the set that you want to get. Mild steel, aluminum, all those other things, I think this is a great set to have. Again, sheet metal, just understand that it is a very aggressive set and that you'll want to go to the finer steps, and that'll ease up that wanting to kind of grab and walk it on through. So just be very careful when you're using an aggressive bit with the large steps when you're going into thinner sheet metal. It will want to distort that or make those jagged edges and pull that bit in there, so be careful with that. But still a great price on these, so check them out from Harbor Freight. It's the HERCULES Cobalt Step Drill Bit Set. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day. Keep smiling.